What's going on, everyone? Osiris here, and welcome to another Dead by Daylight discussion video. It's been a while since I've actually done one of these, and I've actually been wanting to make this specific video for quite a while. So 5 months ago, I made a video talking about if a FNAF chapter would be able to fit in Dead by Daylight, and to my conclusions, I thought it could. The one aspect that I was a little iffy on was what killer that would be. But since making that video, it's become painfully obvious to me that if a killer from FNAF is going to make it into Dead by Daylight, it has to be Springtrap. It has to be. But then there's another problem. What perks would Springtrap have? What add-ons? What would his power be? So I thought, and I thought, and I thought some more. And so I came up with a power that I feel like can be strong and can be countered and could be fun for both sides. I came up with perks, and I came up with add-ons. And now it is time to discuss the potential of Springtrap's power in Dead by Daylight. So starting things off, I wanted to go with something that would complement Springtrap's personality or what he does in Five Nights at Freddy's. Springtrap it's been basically confirmed at this point that it is William Afton, the co-creator of the animatronics, the person who built a bunch of these bots in the franchise. So I wanted to go with that, and I wanted to make a power that utilized his skills. And such, we have a power called Mechanics Prowess. You capitalize on your creative mistakes. Each time a survivor misses a skill check, a gear can be found near a generator. And with each of these gears, you can activate Mechanics Collection. When nearby a generator, you would press the Activate Ability button, and you'd be able to collect any gears nearby. And with construction, with enough gears, you can create an animatronic that can be attached to a generator. A change that I made rather recently was that while you have an animatronic in your hand, one that you've built, that you cannot use your basic attack, as you would have to attach it to a generator first, as that is what I have in mind. With 2 gears, you'll be able to create a mini Phantom Balloon Boy animatronic that you can attach to a generator. If a survivor interacts with the generator with this animatronic attached to it, all survivors within 20 meters of the generator become affected by the blindness stat effect for 45 seconds. The reason why I went with blindness is because in Five Nights at Freddy's 3, the game where Springtrap made his debut, Balloon Boy would be one of the earliest animatronics you encounter, which is why he requires the least amount of gears to create. Along with that, the reason why I gave him the blindness status effect is because when he jump scares you, your screen fades in and out of black and you become literally blinded, and then Springtrap kills you. So I wanted to incorporate that into the gameplay. With 3 gears, you can create a mini Phantom Foxy animatronic that you can attach to generators. If a survivor interacts with the generator with this animatronic attached to it, all survivors within 20 meters of the generator become affected by the broken status effect for 30 seconds. So, same distance, 20 meters, except this time it's going to be 30 seconds for the broken status effect. So if a survivor is within a certain range and they're healing, and another survivor goes to work on a generator, they cannot finish the heal, and they cannot be healed for 30 seconds. And I feel like that's rather powerful. It requires teammates to actually look out for them, not only just for themselves, but for the whole team, and make judgment and make certain plays. It might require you to not work on generators as soon as possible, and that could allow the killer to catch up to you. With 5 gears, you can create a mini Phantom Freddy animatronic that you can attach to generators. If a survivor interacts with the generator with this animatronic attached to it, all survivors within 20 meters of the generator become affected by the hindered status effect for 20 seconds. Now the reason why I went with Freddy right now is because he's the second to last one, by the way. He's the mascot of the franchise. I wanted him to be a bit higher up above Foxy or Balloon Boy. And the reason why I went with Hindered is just because I feel like it's a fairly powerful status effect, but it's not the most strongest one. I feel like it's stronger than Broken and Blindness, but it's not better than, say, Exposed, which we'll get to in a second. With 7 gears, you can create a mini Phantom marionette animatronic that you can attach to generators. If a survivor interacts with the generator with this animatronic attached to it, all survivors within 15 meters of the generator become affected by this explosive status effect for 25 seconds. So this time it has a slightly smaller radius, but survivors are affected by it longer. And the reason why I wanted to go with the Marionette is because the Marionette seems to have omnipresent abilities within the franchise and has a lot of pull in the events of the story. And that's why I put the Marionette above Freddy in terms of it takes longer for you to build this animatronic. Another reason why I lower the radius is because Expose is such a powerful status effect that even though if you're not even close, if you are close to like when the effect happens, that survivors don't just automatically lose. Like they have to be like relatively close to the generator when Mechanic's Prowess goes off. Also, I should also note that the time it takes to build an animatronic takes 6 seconds, and during this time you cannot actively move. And it takes 1 second to attach it to a generator. I should also note that you cannot stack animatronics on generators. So you can have a Phantom Freddy and a Phantom Marionette animatronic on the same generator. And the reason why I did this is because I feel like having Hindered and Exposed, it was a bit overkill. And it would just lead to like another Legion where there's like no counterplay. And that's the last thing that I would want. Because even as a Legion main, I can admit that Legion was really brain dead back then. So that is Mechanic's Prowess. You collect gears, and with those gears you create animatronics that when survivors interact with generators these animatronics are attached to, certain status effects affect them. Status effects have a heavy weight in Springtrap's arsenal, and utilizing the status effects effectively and strategically allowed for some really good plays. So with the power out of the way, I would like to move on to the add-ons. So let's go into a custom game really quickly. I actually looked to see what add-ons were like with each killer. And most killers came with 2 or 1 in that case, which were add-ons, or none in Old Billy and Old Bubba. As of recording this, the update has not officially come out, but they're assumed to be getting ultra rares, 2 of them actually. And most killers will come with 2 to 1 ultra rares, 2 to 4 very rares, 5 rare add-ons, 8, 9 to 5 uncommons, and 3 to 4 commons. So I wanted to keep with that trend and not make the add-ons not too overpowered. I didn't want to go overkill with them. So let's start off with the common add-ons, and there are 3. Slightly increases the radius survivors can be affected by Mechanic's Prowess, and this increases to 3 meters. So let's say you've attached a generator, you've attached a Phantom Marionette animatronic to a generator. Once Mechanic's Prowess goes off and a survivor is affected by the exposed status effect, that radius goes from 15 meters to 18 meters. It's not a big difference, but the difference is there. Likewise with a Phantom Blue Boy animatronic or Phantom Fox or Phantom Freddy, which are all 20 meters, it now gets increased to 23 meters. Once more, the difference is not amazing, but the difference is there and it could be useful. slightly decreasing the time the attraction takes to build its animatronics. And this is half a second. The time goes from 6 seconds to 5.5 seconds. And I think that is rather good. Not being removed while creating the animatronic allows survivors to heal, repair, sabotage, cleanse, and that time is now decreased because now you can actually go around the map and apply more pressure. So, by the way, I also forgot to mention that yes, Springtrap, if in the game, his codename would be the attraction. So it's the pig, the shape, the Demogorgon, he'd be the attraction. But that's a given. And then could agree about that. Slightly increase the time mechanics prowess affects survivors. So what this means is if a survivor is affected by mechanics prowess, like when a survivor misses a skill check with an animatronic attached to it, they are affected by the status effect for longer. So once again, let's go with the defensive marionette animatronic, for example. The explosive effect now goes from 25 seconds to 27 seconds. Once more, the difference is rather minute, but the difference is there, and it could be useful. As all you need is that one more second, close out a loop, and get that insta down. Let us move on to the uncommon add-ons. Moderately increases the radius survivors can be affected by mechanics prowess, and this is by 6 meters this time instead of 3. And that increases it now to 21 meters for marionettes and 26 for everyone else. And in conjunction with the other radius add-on that we've covered so far, it now becomes 29 meters, and that is rather good. Moderately decreases the time the attraction takes to build animatronics. This is now 1.5. If you combine this with the other decrease time add-on, it now becomes 2 seconds, which makes it 4 seconds, and you're almost taking off half the time it takes to build the animatronic, which I think is big. Moderately increased time mechanics prowess affects survivors. Instead of 2 seconds, it's now 4 seconds. So, likewise, now if you combine it with the other one, they're exposed for 31 seconds. They can be affected by hindered for 26, broken for 36, and blindness for 51. Reveals the aura of all survivors affected by mechanics power for 2 seconds. So I'm taking a bit of inspiration from the shape here and his evil shard add-on. And the reflected fragment. I'm taking a wee bit of inspiration from there, as I really do like this add-on. This is mainly for tracking. If a survivor wants to go into a locker or something, this allows you to at least get some sort of read as to what their next move is going to be. You want to hear your loud ass Myers. Okay, so that wraps up the uncommon add-ons. So let's move on to the rare ones. The first one is considerably increase the radius survivors can be affected by mechanics prowess by 8 meters, but it slightly decreases the time mechanics prowess affects survivors, and this will be by 3 seconds. So more survivors have a higher chance of being affected by it, but the effect lasts for a shorter amount of time. If using this add-on, say with the marionette animatronic, they are now affected by 23 meters, but they only have the status effect for 22 seconds. And that loss in time could mean the difference between getting the instant down and not. Reveals the aura of all survivors affected by mechanics prowess for 5 seconds, just better than the one previously, and it actually could lead on to a lot more plays, as you can now see them for longer. Considerably decreases the time the attraction takes to build its animatronics, 2.5 seconds. And if you combine this with the other moderately decreased time, now you're automatically taking off more than half, and that is very good. If you don't want to wait 6 seconds to build your animatronic, this is definitely going to be the add-on for you. So there's only 3 rare add-ons, so let's move on to the very rares. We have 3 as well for here. For very rare add-ons, we have a tremendously increases the radius survivors can be affected by mechanics prowess, and this will be by 10 meters. And the best part about this is that there's no downside to it. It's just increase the radius, that is amazing. I honestly think that's good. However, there is a bit of a downside to it. Let's say a survivor is on the very edge of, say, that 25 meters being affected from the marionette animatronic. They're probably gonna know this and just run away. And with that, they potentially just, you don't get the chance to get that insta-down. They get to, they just have the chance to just avoid it at all costs. So use that with this question. The second add-on was reveals the aura of all survivors affected by mechanics powers for 7 seconds, but moderately decreases the radius survivors can be affected by mechanics powers for 6 meters. So now, let's say once more, let's use the Phantom Marionette animatronic. It goes from 15 meters to 9 meters, but you can actually see the survivor that gets affected by it. You see survivors that are affected by it, which I think is a fair balance. I don't think it's ridiculously overpowered, but I still think it's good, and it's very deserving of being a very rare add-on. I feel like add-ons themselves should be deserving of very rare. Like this glowing concoction here, I feel like it should be like a rare add-on. Like I don't see how me seeing the victim's auras is going to really help me unless I'm going for a cross map snipes, or I'm in Coldwin and then the corn. Like I want very rare add-ons and ultra rare add-ons to actually mean something for their rarity. And that's why I made an add-on that good, but also gave it somewhat of a drawback. And the final rare add-on is one that I'm actually very happy about. Survivors affected by mechanics powers are additionally affected by the oblivious status effect for 30 seconds. So basically what this means is, if a survivor is affected by mechanics powers, whether they're hindered, or broken, or blind, or even exposed, they also can't hear your heartbeat. And that is amazing. It can lead to a lot of jump scare moments, because, you know, he's a FNAF character. But it can also lead to a lot of mind games. Along with that, you could probably combine this add-on with the orb seeing add-on, and it could lead to a lot of interesting plays there. It could also lead off with barbecue. And let us move on to the ultra rares. Now I wrote 3, although one I'm rather iffy on because I feel like it's a bit bad. But let's cover that one first. If 3 good skill checks have been completed on a generator, a gear is dropped, but increases the gears required to construct an animatronic by 1. So if it means it relies on survivors having to hit great skill checks, and if they do that, it kind of takes away the purpose of this add-on. But most survivors don't normally hit great add-ons. A stakeout could be a great counter to this, as I do want to see more perks get more use, but the add-on itself is just super situational, and it requires survivors just not being that good at hitting great skill checks. The second add-on I had was hides all animatronics from survivor's point of view. So, unlike normally when you're affected by status effects, like you see like the status effect bar like on the right, like it shows you how long it takes for the status effect to go away. The status effects do not appear like with mechanics prowess. Survivors have to like go about this and figure out on their own. Like, oh, I'm blinded. He's also probably on his way over here, so I better be careful. And now they can't see the animatronics on the generators. Now they have to pay especially more attention to their surroundings, because normally a survivor will be able to see the generator and have to make a decision of, okay, do I get on this generator when I know the risk of it? And that could lead to the mind games of like a 3-gen scenario, and that cannot happen like at all costs, because that will lead to a lot of good plays from the Springtrap. And the final ultra rare add-on, the last add-on in general, is a survivor affected by mechanics powers has their screen faded in and out of black for the remainder of the duration of the applicable status effect. So back to what I said earlier about Balloon Boy jump scaring you and your screen fading in and out of black. The reason why that fading in and out of black thing happens is because your ventilation stops malfunctioning, and that's just a gimmick of that game. It's your screen fades in and out of black, and it increases the chances of Springtrap killing you in that game. So I wanted to incorporate that, and I want the screen fading in and out of black to be a lot faster in this game, because I feel like if it happened at the speed of FNAF 3, survivors will still be able to like adjust to it. I don't want them to be like forever black screen, so they have no idea where they're going. Just fast enough where they have to like know where pallets are, know where loops are, know how far they have to go in order to get the loop going. Just, I want it to be like strong, but not too strong. So all in all, I feel like the add-ons are rather basic, but effective. And I honestly think simplicity and add-ons are going to be what makes this game really good in the future. I like what they did with Bubba's add-ons, because they're simple and they're good, and not what they're doing with like Billy's add-ons, with like blind, like when a flashlight's shown at you, you gain faster, you gain like more speed, and that's just super situational and just bad. I feel like just the more simpler the add-on, the more effective it's probably going to be in the long run in the meta of the game. With that said, let us move on to the perks. Let's start with the first perk called Deficient Prey. And this was a perk where I was doing some heavy thinking on. I wasn't sure how I wanted to go about this. But this is what it is. When a survivor would be rescued from a hook or successfully escapes from the hook, the survivor is given the endurance side effect for 8 seconds, but cannot repair, sabotage, or cleanse for 10, 20, or 30 seconds. Deficient Prey has a cooldown of 45 seconds. This perk is primarily used in that very late game scenario of the generator is super close and the survivor can just get off the hook with like borrowed time. They can also have DS, they can just do the generator and you have no choice but to down them, but then you have to pick them up and risk DS, you can slug them, risk Soul Guard and Unbreakable, and that's how they get gen that way. And that eliminates that person doing anything for 30 seconds. I was also going to have this affect the person getting them doing the unhooking action, if that would happen. But I feel like that would just be boring, having 2 people doing literally nothing for 30 seconds. And it's just boring for both sides. I feel like just not being able to like progress the game for a whole half minute, it just seems boring. The second perk I thought of was Nowhere to Hide. When a survivor would exit a locker, the survivor's aura is revealed to you for 5 seconds, and they become affected by the hinder status effect for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, or 20 seconds. This perk is primarily for tracking, and if a survivor were to have their aura shown to you to be a barbecue, and they exit a locker, their aura will be shown to you, you can go over to them, they're hindered, and that means they can't move, they can't run as fast. And as such, you'll be able to catch up to them faster and get that hit in. And that allows you to have more map pressure and all that. Now, a good counter for this would obviously be Distortion, which I do want to see get more use in the meta, as I feel like that's a really underrated perk. It just doesn't have that much viability. As we really only use that perk for barbecue, so let's have it have more uses to counter. And finally, let's go over the final killer perk, Unyielding Chaser. When you are stunned by a pallet or a locker, your movement speed is increased by 4%, 6%, or 8% for 20 seconds. The perk deactivates by performing a basic or special attack. So a basic or special attack being, let's take Legion for example. A normal attack would be their regular just their R2, their M1 or whatever, and their special attack would be Feral Slash, obviously, when you're in Feral Frenzy and getting that hit in. So the reason why I made this perk is mainly because if you're being like looped on like the god, like on like the god palette, or a very safe loop, and you get stunned by the palette, and you have like brittle strength, you can break that palette and boom, you can catch it very fast. 8% is not a lot, but couple that with like play with your food, it's good. I only made it 20 seconds though. And the reason that's because I don't want them to just have a flat 8%, and I don't want it to be like additive throughout the game. I want it to be like a speed boost to help with that one chase. or chase, or maybe multiple times depending on how good the survivor is at looping. As I wouldn't say it's a I'm going to hit you and there's nothing you can do about it, because once more, since we're on the topic, I don't want another Legion situation. I really do not. But it's a good way to counter looping, which I feel like could challenge survivors' looping abilities, and survivors who don't know how to loop can suffer greatly from this. With survivors who do know how to loop would know how to counter it and know, okay, can I make it to this loop or not? What can I do to avoid his hit? And that's good. I feel like that would be a really good perk. So all in all, these are the perks, the add-ons, and the power that I would give to Springtrap if he was to make it into Dead by Daylight. And the possibility of having Springtrap at this point is so higher, all because of this guy right here. Freaking Pyramid Head. They actually took a horror game, like main villain, and put it into Dead by Daylight. So they adjusted the gameplay and put it in Dead by Daylight. So there's literally no excuse as to why like a FNAF character cannot make it in. Hopefully they do in the future. I wouldn't expect it in the near future, but I would like to see it happen at some point. With that being said, that's pretty much all I wanted to say for this video. I did promise about 3 weeks ago when making this video that I was going to make a follow-up discussing the perks, add-ons, and power of Springtrap, and I hope this is satisfactory. I hope the perks, add-ons, power weren't too overpowered, nor were they too weak. I can see like certain arguments being said about how the power could be like very counterable of just don't touch this generator. But that would be like, why would you run the ultra rare of survivors just can't see the animatronic? The animatronic also, I should probably also mention this before this video ends, it does not jump scare you. You're just affected by it. You just, no. I feel like jump scares, like I saw a joking comment saying that the power of a FNAF would have to be jump scares, because that's like the main thing that they do, but no. No jump scares, not in this game. This game is already not that scary. We do not need jump scares in this game. More than just a survivor just bolting a window right in your face and you're not expecting it. Or, you know, this guy. So anyways, that is all. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, share with someone else, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.